Let's talk about failure. So there's this huge stigma attached to failure. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but the reality is that you really can't have success without failure. They go hand in hand. From the perspective of, hindsight's 2020, talk to us and maybe share some of your experiences with some of the people that might be watching that might want to know, what have you had to go through to get to where you are now? Because I'm sure people watching, especially people who may be starting over or starting for the first time, they're struggling, they're constant rejection, or what they're doing is not working, or they're just not making it happen. Share some of that if you've had any. What are some of your failures or some of the do-overs you wished you had?
Haven't had any. Thanks so much. So long. My road has been littered with failures all along. I got out of acting school and I couldn't get an agent. And my first job as an actor was touring for a year and a half on a bus and truck Shakespeare show, playing the nurse's assistant in Romeo and Juliet. And I had no agent, and I started at the very, very, very bottom. I believed in myself, and I knew that I needed to act, and I knew that I was good. I knew that I needed to get better, and I always kept my goal as to just become a better and better actor. My goal was never to become famous. My goal was to become a working actor, so I didn't have to wait tables and do catering and drive a moving van. And so I knew that to do that, I needed to be better and better. So I was always taking workshops, doing readings, getting groups of friends together and putting on plays and shooting short films and just honing my skills as I kept auditioning. And I just started at the very, very bottom and then got some little jobs in town and got a little bit better agent and then a little bit better jobs and then my first TV gig and then another little bit better agent and I started at, my wife calls it like the Amway pyramid. I started at the very bottom, climbing my way up to the top. But I've had some extraordinary failures. I had a huge break. This director I'd worked with several times cast me as a lead in a Broadway play. And it was a restoration comedy. It was a period comedy from just after Shakespeare. And I was so certain this was going to be my break. I was going to be front page in the New York Times. I was going to get great reviews. This was going to be awesome. I was going to be discovered. I was going to get a great agent. Everything was going to happen for me because of this.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous that I sucked. I mean, I really was bad in this play. It's called London Assurance. You can look it up, look for the online reviews. They're pretty terrible. And I was really, really bad. And I really bombed. And
how'd you deal with it?
I cried a lot. I was devastated. It was every time I did the show, it was torture. I felt like I wasn't in my body. It was the weirdest thing. Everything, I had been so good as an actor before, but
and it's because you felt everything was riding on that?
Yeah, there was just so much pressure, which as an actor you need to feel zero pressure. You need to just be your character and be in the moment and be listening and breathing and reacting. And I couldn't do any of that stuff. And I almost had a nervous breakdown. I mean, it was crazy. And from that, my agents at the time didn't come see the show, so I fired them, and I got these terrible reviews. And then I left town. I went to this cabin in Oregon with my wife and just holed up for a while. And then I just kind of it kind of broke through a bunch of stuff for me, and I saw the world a lot more clearly. And I was kind of like, fuck it, I have to be me. This is who I am. I'm not going to try and be something else and go for these reviews and agents and this kind of path. I have to be myself, and I'm going to follow my own path. And then not long after that, I started getting into film and TV and came out to LA, and things just started opening up for me. So what was the worst experience of my life ended up being the most transformative, best experience of my life.